Good morning, everyone. Today is the 6th of June. Already moving into kind of like the early middle of the month, huh? Wow. Where does time fly when you're busy working on things? Well, the markets are up quite a bit today, up 3/4 of a point, 4.57, 4.5% roughly. Back up near these highs again, 4.597, up near my upper range. It's going to be very interesting to see how this plays out after yesterday's bit of selling. Bitcoin is up 2,000 and change. The markets are struggling up near this top. Could actually go a bit higher here in the next couple of days, Monday, Tuesday of next week. The cycle patterns are into a breakaway in counter trend mode. Now, obviously, we're moving a bit higher, and obviously, we've seen kind of an upward trend here. So I would think the counter trend mode would be to the downside, but we will see. We could get a breakaway to the upside here, as we move through this consolidation. But my inclination would be to guess that it would be coming to the downside today, especially after the markets kind of rolled the last couple of days. So again, back into that 597, 598 level, setting up that upper range. We start to get above that, which could happen. Look, we're almost there now, 597.88. And we might be moving into a breakaway phase. Remember, we could come up here and get rejection like we had before. So, yesterday's high was 599. So watch that 599, 600 level for rejection potentially. And, we're getting into some very interesting moves here as we move into the early portion of June here. Now, Bitcoin's breakdown yesterday was, quite a big move. Now, I put a video up yesterday afternoon telling everyone to watch for a potential rejection back up into the 104, 105 area. Looks like we've gotten close to that. Let's come over here, go to data. The high today is 104, 359. So, we're close. I'm not saying we're there, but the rejection level back up here is very common. We're obviously back above the 103 level, 102, 794 level roughly. And that could be a completed rejection mode. So we will see. Going into the end of the week, really going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Like I said, Bitcoin moving down in three very clear waves. I set them up here with this red line, setting a bottom. So we could see a rejection up here to 105, 106, 107, moving through a bit of an uptrend before we get another move downward. We'll see how it plays out. Right now, certainly looks like it wants to go up. It's up $2,400, up 2.39%. And that would mean that gold and silver right now are kind of stalling. Gold is still stalling over here near this apex level. Really waiting for gold to kind of make a move here. It's up $5. Maybe today, because silver keeps making moves higher. So again, overnight from yesterday, silver was up. Well, it was up quite a bit. Basically, this was yesterday, and today is the 6th. And the 6th, we're already up 53, 54, 55 cents, dollar or 1.5%. Silver's making a move, a big move. We'll come back over here to 4-hour. And you can see this move has been quite extensive. A bang, and now we're looking at another big move up to that 37 area. Now remember that 37 to 40 some dollar area, those were areas that I talked about months ago. And I hadn't cleared the chart and started over, you'd be able to see them all. But this breakaway move that I called looked very solid. And we're now rolling into this extended trend with gold missing out on the trade, right? So what is gold doing missing out on this move? Well, gold has already seen a pretty substantial move higher. up into the 3600 area, 3500, let's call it. Well, remember, silver was trading through this consolidated range back over here. Gold rallied up here when silver was consolidating right around this area. So I think what's happening is silver's making up for the rally that gold has had, pushing up to new all-time highs, and then gold probably next week or the week after will push very strongly to the upside, particularly if silver keeps making this rally. So if silver keeps moving through this big rally phase, I think you're going to see gold make a big move off of this support channel, get above 34.20, 34.40, and then make a move up into the 35, 36 area. So the gold cycle pattern is a blank bar in bullish trending with explosive. We'll see how it plays out. I'm looking for, like I said, kind of silver to keep rallying, dragging gold along with it. And I think once the move in gold above 34.20, 34.40 takes place, it's going to be almost unstoppable at that point. Something else I mentioned to you over here is that take a look at platinum. Platinum is making a very big move. Okay, I talked about this earlier. I think I drew this here in platinum. Yeah. Once platinum makes this big move, you're almost guaranteed to see some major explosive move. Now, look, I'm going to go back to weekly, and I highlighted this area here, indicating that I thought this area looked very similar. Actually, this area here looks very similar. And this area here, this explosive move up, is kind of where I thought we were starting out. So I think this next big move here, this explosive move, is going to be up to this 1900 area, 2000, and then we're going to stall, and then we're going to rally back up out of it. That's basically this move here. So think of this as $2,000 and think of this as 4,200 roughly. So this move then from 4,200 up here would theoretically put us at a massive move up into this 9,000, 9,000 area. So when platinum starts to make a move like this, and remember, we're still out of, dang it, we're breaking away over in this area, but we still have to get above this high. Once we get above that high, tell you the price, 1350 roughly. Once we get above that red high, then we are moving very aggressively back into this longer term trend back over here. Remember, got to get back above this high here to try to get that breakaway rally. It'll be basically double this range. So once we get up in this area, the next move is basically up to here, and that's going to put you up in the 2100 area, 2000, 2100 area for platinum. But this move here in platinum is very indicative of not necessarily a market in turmoil, but a market that is moving into, let's call it, an extreme speculative phase. Okay, very similar to what we had back over here in early 2000s with the .com bubble, the blow up of the markets. And then we had the 9/11 event, and then we moved into that big broad expansion phase up until the housing crisis. And you can see what happened here during the collapse during the housing crisis. This is platinum moves as kind of a speculative gauge. Think of the markets now moving into real hyper speculative mode. And that can be a fun time. It can also be a dangerous time. So keep an eye on platinum as we're moving. And then, of course, keep an eye on IYT, the transportation, as we are also moving forward. Transportation index has rolled back downward. Remember, transportation index leads the market by about 3 to 6 months. So understand that as we're watching this, the transports move downward into this channel, we are seeing the potential for a potential breakdown back into these lows. This would be a from where we're at roughly right now down here to these lows, about 11, 12, 13% downward trend. I would think that would reflect to be about a 7, 8, 9% downward trend in the S&P, and a 7, 8, 9% downward trend in the S&P right now. This is weekly, guys. Would put us 9%, would put us down here at this 530, 540 area. So a pretty, if we get a roll, we could be looking at this level as a minimal target for the S&P. Okay, so let's see what happens here. It's a Friday. We all made it. It doesn't look like the big breakdown I was expecting is going to play out this week, but we're not out of the woods yet. We could see it roll, and we'll just go from there. Okay, so watch metals, watch Bitcoin. Let's see how this plays out. Let's see what happens over the weekend and go from there. Go get some, guys. Happy Friday.